I want to come back to this question of why humans build these incredible technologies, airplanes and cell phones and cities even. And is it is it because we can transmit culture? Is it something about the way our brains are wired that's fundamentally different from all other animals, that they don't have that capacity? How do we explain that, humans are, taking over the world for better or worse, and unlike other animals? Carl, any thoughts there?
Well, I think I think it's in this context very important to remember that for hundreds of thousands of years, no human had a tool with a moving part. And then there were bows and arrows, which arguably have a moving part. And that condition stayed the same for an extremely long time. I think, as I said, things on a sliding scale, humans as the extreme. I think that, first of all, we're well set up because we have free hands. The hands and the mind probably co-evolved in some of these ways. But I think what we are is we are the extreme tinkerers. Other apes have free hands. They're not as free. They're not as dexterous. I think that goes a long way, coupled with our ability to use our language to network with any innovation. If you look at culture in non-humans, it's almost impossible to see innovation until people come into the picture, and then there's a rapid change. And somebody has to cope with that in some way or do something different or innovate. But other than that, culture in nature and culture in human societies was changed so slowly that it was imperceptible to see the changes for hundreds of thousands of years. And much more recently, we've been on this tremendously accelerating track, which I think in itself is a little bit hard to account for, other than I think it just has built so much momentum because the number of minds that are networked has skyrocketed. I mean, in the 1800, there was 1 billion people. In my lifetime, the population has tripled. So many more minds are applied to everything. And then any little innovation becomes a tool for more innovation, et cetera. That's
So
how,
you're saying culture is transmitted. So it's not as if it's like the individual, I don't know, our prefrontal cortex does this. It's because,
well, culture is by definition the things that flow through social learning. And the weird, interesting paradox of culture is that often innovation is suppressed. It's easy to see in people. You can even see it in chimpanzees. For instance, if a chimpanzee from a culture where they, let's say, crack nuts with stones, moves into a community where they don't, they stop cracking nuts with stones. It's when in Rome, even for chimpanzees. With humans, innovators are often made to be outcasts. You can't get too far out of line. You can't look too wacky. You can't act too kooky. There's a tremendous amount of pressure for conforming, which suppresses certain kinds of innovation and a lot of creativity, right? And that's part of it, but that's the paradox, because there can be no culture without some innovator to create a cultural aspect.